What's up, everyone? It's Marion with Restoring Ghettos Forgotten. I'm here with a little short conversational piece today, and it's entitled, please excuse all the background noise. I'm sitting outside where I live right after I'm taking my son to school. So I'm about to go inside, but sometimes I like to get my video done because I know I have this workload, and once I get in there I'm going to be working, and I'll push it back and push it aside. But I thought it was an important topic that we needed to talk about. If you haven't done so already, please click and subscribe on my YouTube channel for more real talk videos, and I'll jump right into it. That question, this is a video I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and I wrote my little notes, so please excuse me as I look at my notes. And I'm just going to define attractive. A person who is attractive is pleasant to look at, and so that's just basic. But there are some people that are extremely attractive, and the reason why they're extremely attractive because it's not just the surface of the person, it's the internal things as well that makes them more attractive. So it could be the fact that they're kind-hearted, they're free-spirited, they're loving, they're giving, they're caring, they have all these spiritual gifts and abilities, and then so they just shine a lot brighter, along with how well they keep themselves up. And so that makes them extremely attractive to certain people. Again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I believe everybody that God made is beautiful, and God didn't make any mistakes on any of us. So I want to put that out there first. I don't believe there's somebody that's more attractive than the next. That's not what I'm saying. But we do have to realize that we're in this world, and people find attraction in different ways, in different things about people. It could be somebody's legs, it could be somebody's behind, or their breast, or their face, or their bone structure, the physical attributes. But there's more to attraction than just the surface. So I'll just jump right into it. And what I want to mention is that I think why it's so hard to secure true love. I won't say that it's hard to find, because I believe that you shouldn't be looking for love. I think love should happen naturally. I think that somebody's interested in you, they're going to come up to you, and then you're going to strike up this conversation, and then you're just going to let it flow. And so it's not like you're going to manipulate anything to try to bring something to you that doesn't belong to you in any type of way. So I believe it should be really natural in a sense. But the point I'm basically trying to make is that and the biggest thing, and I'll just share my little brief testimony about it. The biggest thing is, I've been told that I'm attractive by a couple people, so I deem myself attractive anyway. I can look at myself and say, oh, you look good, especially for my age. So I find myself attractive, but other people also find me attractive. And so what I'm getting from that, though, is that because I take care of myself, my body, my spirit, my mind, my psyche, and my internal self, I'm taking care of myself. And so I'm this person. And then I have these men that believe, people that I've been in a relationship, actually, and this is me sharing. I'm sharing a part of myself with you guys. Please don't judge me. But I've been in a relationship with men that thought I've cheated on them. And I'm like, what? I'm so not a cheater. I'm so monogamous. I'm such a loyal person. And the only thing I could think of is that it's their own insecurities. It's their own insecurities to think that, okay, she gets a lot of attention, she has to have somebody on the side, she has to be cheating. I don't believe that she's just with me. And then it goes up into I believe it's self-esteem and self-worth issues. I believe that if you're not confident to think that you can hold a certain person, then that's something that you need to deal with, not per se them. But I've went through this more than once, and I asked myself, what am I doing to make my mates not feel secure with me? And I have to really think about it and soul search. And I say, well, when I'm with someone, I'm not a flirt. So I'm not going to flirt with other people when I am in a relationship, a serious relationship with someone. I don't flirt. I don't disrespect. I don't hold conversations through DM or messages that's inappropriate when I'm actually engaging somebody. So I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything. I'm telling the truth. I'm being honorable, and I'm doing all these things. So why have I had more than one man think I've cheated on them? And it's basically because some people are not confident enough to be with an attractive person. And I'm not just saying superficially attractive just by the looks. I'm meaning by attractive as in your internal being. Like if you have a light within you, if you have confidence, confidence alone will get you a lot of attention regardless of how you look. But if you have confidence and you have a lot of self-worth and self-respect and you carry yourself a certain way, you're going to get a lot of attention. And so if a person is with someone that gets a lot of attention in that aspect, if they're not confident enough, or if they're not trusting enough, they're not going to be able to receive that person, because that person just gets too much attention. So it may be too hard for their internal psyche to be with an extremely attractive person. So then they try to start tearing down that person. And that's when it becomes toxic. And then the relationship splits and they go apart. So that's why I really believe in, and I always say we need to do our self-work. We really have to make sure we're healed and we're whole before we try to grasp on to relationships, because every relationship in our life is going to challenge us, whether it's platonic or it's romantic. It's going to challenge us, and it should make us better people and be more equipped to handle these different life situations and stuff like that. So I said all that to say, I believe two highly attractive people can make it work. And a prime example would be Boris Kojo and what's her name, Nicole Parker. I think that's the most beautiful couple I've ever seen in my life, and they've been together for years and they make it work. So I say, wow, not only are they beautiful, but they're real confident. Do you know how confident Nicole has to be with a man like that? Do you know how confident Boris has to be with a woman like that? You know how trusting they have to be with each other. You know how open and honest they have to be with each, but they can make it work. So I believe love can last, love can work, but we have to make sure we are where we need to be in our walk and in our self-work in order to make those things work. And I hope I'm making this message come across correctly, because it's important that we understand it's not about the surface of the person, it's about the content of the character that's really going to make our relationships work. But if you look at someone and you see them, and men do this all the time, let's be honest, y'all do it all the time. Y'all see a beautiful woman, you want to go up to her, you want to approach her, and then you hear her speak, you see how she carries herself, and then you don't go to her, you go to someone else. You go to someone else that's not as shiny as she is, or not as bold or vivacious or creative as she is, because you feel like, oh, that one I can keep, that one I can maintain, but that one, that's going to take a lot of work. So just be honest about it. It happens. And women, we do the same thing. Some of us may not have high self-esteem. We see a handsome brother, we immediately deem them whores. We say, oh, he a hoe. How do you know he's a hoe? You don't even know him. You don't know that he's a whore. You don't know that he entertains a lot of women just because he's extremely attractive or handsome. You don't know that until you get to know. See, it's the preconceived notions that we all have inside of us. We need to change those notions, because we're missing out on God's best, all because our self-esteem isn't high enough, or our confidence isn't high enough, or we don't believe in ourselves even to think we could even hold down a relationship of such magnitude. So I just wanted to put that out there. A lot of self-work has to happen for us to secure healthy, true love, even with attractive people. And I wanted to bring up Boris and Nicole as an example, because it happens. People make it happen every day. It just takes a lot of self-worth and a lot of confidence and trust in the other person to make it work. Don't automatically assume because you got this really attractive person that person is going to cheat on you or walk away from you. If they've made a conscious decision to be with you, that's their decision, and they're going to stick by that if they're good people. And that's why we take our time with people, so we can get to know a person and know that that person is really who they say they are. And after you've deemed them to be who they say they are, it's up to you to trust them. Then you have to trust, because without trust, love cannot exist, and a real meaningful relationship cannot happen. So I hope that makes sense. That's just a part of what I wanted to say. Let me check out my notes, because I didn't really want to forget anything. We're all grown here. We're gonna be real on this video today. Let's be real. This is adult content today. Okay, so you have this really attractive person, and not only are they attractive physically, but they're attractive internally as well. And so they're this really big bright light. And so you have this person, and say for instance you guys indulge each other intimately, because of course you've decided you want to pursue a relationship. I'm not just talking about people that are just going around bedding everybody. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about two people that's made a conscious decision to see if they can make their relationship work. And then so you decide to be intimate with that person, and then that person intimacy is way higher than you've ever experienced, or it's off a certain chart that you've never experienced, and then that makes it even worse, because then you be like, wow. Guys, y'all know y'all like this. Y'all get with a girl, you be like, I've even had men tell me, not necessarily about me, but if they talking about a woman, be like, man, where did she learn that at? Why does it matter? Like, why is she so good in bed? How much experience does she have? And then your insecurities start to play. How I'm a keeper. Is she doing this with someone else? And then that's when all the negative thoughts come in, and then it just smothers out any chance of real romantic love and real authentic love, because you can't receive that this person actually has this awesome experience, which is good for you, but you're questioning yourself. Well, how did she learn it? Or is she doing it with anybody else? And that's about controlling our thoughts and always thinking positive things. You always want to believe in the people that you have around you. And if there's some reason why you can't believe in them, that's not your person. Let that person go. But stop questioning people because they have these gifts or these abilities, and you try to figure out how, why, when. None of that matters. As long as they're experiencing this stuff with you, that's what matters. At the moment, you building your relationship with that person, being secure with who you are, knowing that you are the man, or knowing that you are the woman that this person chose. This person chose you for a reason. This person chose you because they may feel like you're their equal. Stop thinking so lowly of yourself and think highly of yourself. Believe that you can experience the best that this life has to offer. And that's exactly what you'll receive. What you think is what you create and what you receive. Always remember that. I wanted to put that little part in there because, hey, we all, okay, I know there's some Christian brothers and sisters that's on my site, but y'all know I'm coming with the real. Y'all know that eventually most of us experience each other sexually before we get married or engaged. Many even have children, and I know this is not in the Bible, it's not biblical, and we haven't done things right. And I think that's why our romantic lives, our love lives are such a mess, because we haven't done it right. But we have to learn how to get it right. And how we get it right is that we're honest with ourselves, we're honest with each other, and we're gonna treat each other well, and we're gonna respect each other. And we do that with open honesty and communication. And so I felt this is something I wanted to talk about, because I think a lot of people don't know how to talk about this topic without people saying you're superficial, or that's so, I don't know what I want to say. It's so much vanity. But I always go back to not just the surface of the person, because I believe you can be a beautiful person, but if your internal self is ugly, you're ugly to me. You're no longer attractive to me. I always say that, and I believe that happens with a lot of other people. So it's not just the surface of a person that's attractive. It's the internal self too, the internal work that they've done that makes them shine brighter than some people that possibly have not done their internal work, because you can feel energy. So that's the message I was trying to get out. I hope I did a good job. This is not for me to point blame. This is not for me to say certain people are more attractive than others. This is just stating the real of why some certain attractive people find it hard to secure. It's not hard to get into a relationship or a friendship or whatever the case may be, but it's hard to secure the love, because then insecurities start to play into what's going on. And so if you're with this person and you're being truthful and you're being honest and you're loving them and only them, but then all these things, all these feelings start to come about, and they start doubting, they're doubting you, and you're saying, well, what am I doing to make this person doubt me? I'm very clear about my expectations and my intentions, and I'm very true with this person. Why would they doubt me? Then that's something that they still need to deal with, and they need to bring themselves up a notch to understand that Not everybody come into your life to hurt you or lie to you or play with you or cheat on you. Some people actually come into your life to add something of great value to you. You don't want to miss that blessing. Please excuse the background noise. I'm outside of where I live. I'm almost through with this video, so I'm about to go back in. But I felt the need that I wanted to try to tackle this message, and I hope I did an okay job. You guys let me know. Also chime in on the comments. Let me know if you've ever been in an experience like that where you feel like, you know, if you got it going on or not. Like, come on, y'all, let's stop playing. You know that if you're an attractive person and you know you bring strong game, sex, you know, your sex game is off the charts, and you're honest and you're loyal to whoever you decide to be with. You know when those relationships start to unravel because they start thinking you're cheating and you're not cheating. So how do you handle that situation? Do you just walk away from it, or do you try to reassure the person, or do you just say, okay, this is not my person yet? So how do you handle those situations? Do you have more patience, or what the case may be? So a lot of this stuff that I brought up is generalizations, so don't think that it's all personal. This is from talking to other people, dealing with other people in situations. Again, I did share, there's been a couple of times when some of my viable real relationships, there were a couple that thought I was cheating, and I had never cheated on them the whole time. Never. Yeah, and I won't even mention any names or any specific situations, but yeah, there was factual information that came about with one of my relationships that proved to him that I wasn't cheating, and he still thought I was cheating. So that was an insecurity with himself, and that relationship couldn't work. I had to push beyond that because I can only be who God is calling me to be. I can't smother myself down to make you more comfortable. I have to be who I am. And if who I am makes you uncomfortable, then I'm not your person. So it's really that simple. We just really need to stop wasting a lot of time on situations that cannot be fixed. If that person is not willing to put in their work, if that person is not willing to build their self-esteem and their confidence, and if they don't really believe that they can receive God's best, then just don't waste time on that. You just have to really be careful who you're pouring into, because you don't want to pour into an empty cup and it never gets full. That's going to empty you out. So again, I'm done. I think I've almost did 18 minutes, and I wasn't planning on doing 18 minutes, but I wanted to make sure I got this video out because it's extremely important. Oh, I'm not done. I take that back. I remember there was a time in my life, I have a really good friend, and she's still my friend to this day. Beautiful woman. I cherish her, best friend ever. She looked at me and she said, but this was when I was like actually doing my work. Like I was in the middle or the start of doing my work. And she looked at me and she said, if I looked like you, I wouldn't have any issues with having a man. She honestly said that to me. And I said, sis, you would have more issues. If that's the way you see it, you would have more, because people that a lot of people deem attractive attract people that wants to come in and take and hurt and steal from that person just based off of how they look alone. We have to be more discernful. We have to be more protective over ourselves, and it's just so much hard work. So because you attract more people, you got to figure out why they're around you, and so it made it harder for me growing up, extremely harder for me, because I had all this stuff coming around me many times for all the wrong reasons. So a lot of people have this misconception about people that are highly attractive, and like, again, I'll go back to, it's more than just the surface, but you have something in you that attracts a lot of people to you. It doesn't necessarily mean it's all good. Like, all attention isn't good attention. So you have to learn how to be discernful. And when I was younger, I wasn't that discernful. So I'm thinking, it's all good, but honestly a lot of it wasn't. They were coming for the wrong reasons. So no, it doesn't make life easier. Now there are some benefits to being attractive, because you can probably get through some doors and some connections can be made because of your attractiveness. But I tell you, if you don't have that internal self, you won't be able to keep it or solidify it, because you need extra to make things work in every realm of our lives. We have to have extra, and that's where it's important for us to do our internal work, to work on ourselves. Always be a progress in work. Okay, I'm done. If you haven't done so already, please click and subscribe. I'm sorry. Please click and subscribe on my YouTube channel for more real talk videos. And I want to encourage you guys to love God, love yourself, and love others. And take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.